I've made little secret of the fact that fighting games are my jam, and no fighting gamer is complete without a certain character they're oddly defensive of and gravitate to on the character select every time they see it. In other words, their main. I'm going to count down for you today my top 10 mains across 10 fighting games. Without further ado. I sometimes get sad there's no Cuphead fighting game or anything along those lines, but the closest I have is playing as Peacock in Skullgirls, whose lightweight and eccentric moveset make her far and away the most fun character to play for me. When I'm not getting a straightforward job done as Valentine, I toy with my foes, dropping increasingly insane cartoon props on them. Peacock's overall endearingly trollish nature made her an easy choice to start this list. I will never get sick of anvils. Virtua Fighter 5 was the whole reason I saved for months for a PlayStation 3 back in the day, and you best believe that among the poised martial artists, the one who caught my eye was the guy literally named Jeffrey McWild. Outside of sheer eye-catching bombast, Jeffrey may be the only fighting game character I can think of whose fighting style reflects the sport of pancratium, the earliest hybrid martial art from as far back as the Greek Olympics, which we've seen translated today into the likes of MMA. Did I mention Jeffrey only fights for prize money so he can afford better resources to carry on hunting a shark? That's what matters to him. You're all practice to Jeffrey McWild. Darkstalkers is full of awesome characters. Lord Raptor and BB Hood easily could have made this list, but I had to give this spot to Victor, who at first resembles your archetypical musclehead, but is far more like if you put Blanca and Monkey D. Luffy in a blender. He's one of the most fascinatingly animated characters in this lineup, and his satisfying grabs and holds are just icing on the cake. He's pretty straightforward as far as Darkstalkers go, but how many Frankensteins can you think of that can manifest the electric ghost of his dead father to ratatouille him in battle? I feel like I sold it right there. Ah, yeah, Venom. This guy's the coolest, a mercenary wielding a pool cue and billiard balls, making for one of the easiest to jump into, yet hard to master fighting mechanics in a way I heartily endorse. I think in terms of the ensemble of Guilty Gear, I might slightly prefer Baiken as an actual character and concept, but Venom edges out for this particular list for his playstyle, which I'm more so emphasizing for this criteria. The poor guy is an assassin who has a hard time bringing himself to kill despite his impressive skills in the battle leading up to it. And if the man just wants to play pool, why not let him? Maybe that's why he's not in Strive yet? I take him back. Give me my boy. Ah, yeah, Venom. This guy is the hey, wait a second. Different Venom? Different Venom. Up to speed. In the massive world of Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm always mixing and matching for the recipe of a perfect team, but the secret ingredient who must always be present is Venom. Aside from the fact that he's just straight up my favorite Marvel character, his long reach and visceral animations make him madly infectious. I'd say his absence is the only light on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and his presence is the only thing that makes Infinite worthwhile. Whether he's teamed up with Cable, Mega Man, or Shumagorath, he is the man, or Spider. When the first Injustice came out, I was rightfully indignant at the absence of one of my favorite supervillains, Captain Cold. Then he was put in Injustice 2, and he just didn't jive with my playstyle. It's a good thing Supergirl is here. She's got a lot of moves that are great for flighty mind games and pure power, with no gray area in between, and that's how I like it. The Heat Vision Stomp to this day is one of the coolest looking moves ever. With that in mind, with all the live-action adaptation skins this game got, no Melissa Benoist? Maybe if the sequel has a singing minigame. There's an alternate universe where Street Fighter has the correct mascot, and that choice is Chun-Li. She's got all the charm and actual story relevance Ryu wishes he had, and the wild kicks, energy attacks, and iconic outfits to match. She even made it into Street Fighter 3, a game Ryu almost didn't make it into. Again, she's straightforward, and I can be drawn to the more outlandish likes of Fong or the brutish Balrog. But the options and reliability provided by Chun-Li are all I need, be it in Street Fighter or the Capcom crossover games. I've been playing Tekken longer than any other fighting game, and I've had a lot of mains over the years, from my days choosing King when I first touched the joystick, to evolving into a Steve Fox Chad in my adolescent years. But a huge consistent landmark for me is the suave Leaf Xiaolan, whose speedy kicks and peerless flair always held a ton of appeal for me. As grounded as Tekken feels, it's lovely we have a smug, silver-haired anime rival to bite roses and kick ass. There's nary a Tekken tag team-up that doesn't somehow complement my reservation of Li Xiaolan on my team. Plus, who else do you know that can work a suit like that in a martial arts tournament? In a similar vein, the torch of my Mortal Kombat main has been passed among many fighters over the years. Recently in Mortal Kombat 11, I have largely taken to Sindel and Cabal. But let's turn back the clock to Mortal Kombat X, my personal favorite, and my glory days tearing up college campus game parties as D'Vorah. D'Vorah is the best villain Mortal Kombat ever had, and I'm aware I'm in the minority when I say that, but I'm also in the minority of Mortal Kombat players who aren't Little Baby. And D'Vorah's impressive reach and interesting bug mechanics have always made me gravitate toward her. Hand me an MKX controller and let me eat the flesh off your skull. You won't regret it. And before I finish off this list, let's run through a few honorable mentions, like Saberwolf from Killer Instinct, Mai Shiranui and Shermie from King of Fighters, Hitomi from Dead or Alive, Frieza and Android 13 from the Dragon Ball fighting games, Sophitia from Soul Calibur, and Okuyasu from JoJo All-Star Battle. But there can be only one champion. I almost can't explain how King K. Rool's inclusion in Smash has changed my identity as a fighting game player. The long-awaited villain from one of Nintendo's best franchises, and he didn't disappoint a bit. Plus, I finally had a character with whom I can have my cake as a heavyweight fighter and eat it with strong recovery options and projectiles. Some say the trade-offs of some of his frame data is too great, to the point that K. Rool is considered one of Smash's worst characters competitively. Everyone knows it just takes practice to be good with anyone, and while I don't win all the time as K. Rool, his mechanics are so satisfying that every victory is one to be proud of. I became such a well-known K. Rool main within my circles of college Smash tournaments that I was apparently stored in people's phones with the contact name King K. Rool. Playing the big scary alligator became my brand, and I really cherish my memories playing with him. With all that in mind, he had to be my number one choice. Knockout! You've reached the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and hope you have a wonderful day.